Hi everyone, good morning. If you can hear me, just type in hi, good morning, anything in the chat window. I'm glad to see a lot of you here in this career Q&A session, and good to see a lot of familiar names in the chat. Yeah. So if you can, all of you can select all panelists and attendees, that will be great. Um, that would keep the energy going in. Yeah. So please select all panelists and attendees. We have a huge turnout in today's session, and people are still joining in the session as barely started. And what I would want from this session is I would want it to be a interactive session. The way we have planned this session is this is the first session of 2021. Ideally, we were supposed to have a data scientist from Google in today's session, but his wife had some medical emergency and she had to be admitted to the hospital. We could not do it, but I believe that beyond that, there's always something to be learned from every session, and we thought that a lot of you would be interested in looking at your career for 2021 and planning what to do. And I believe that this session, that's why, is extremely important, because the year has just started. You would be thinking about what do you want to achieve in 2021, right? How many of you want to a lot of you have already started your journey in 2020, right? With the GCD program, GCDI program, CDF program. How many of you are thinking about how do you put it in more concrete way in 2021? How many of you are thinking about your careers more seriously and taking it forward in 2021? I'm sure all of us actually do, because this is the when you are investing time, when you are investing effort, when you're investing energy, there has to be some outcome for that, and that is the objective of this session, to have a two-way interaction. Yeah. So let's start the session. uh, it's a career Q&A. A lot of you would know me. I just want a quick heads up. For how many of you this is the first session with me? If it is first, just type in first. If it is second, just type in second. And if it is many, just type in many, right? So for most of you, it's the first session that you're having with me. I'm the chief data science mentor at Insaid. I'm the CEO of Insaid. My name is Manvender. People call me Manav. I am an MBA from ISB. I am ranked among India's top 20 data science academicians. I live in Gurgaon, and I have done my undergrad from National Institute of Technology, Jamshedpur, which is like years back, more than I graduated from engineering in 2007, right? So that was like more than a decade back. Yeah. So that's a quick bit about me. I've been in this space for a very long time. I've seen this space grow from almost nothing, when people used to ask what exactly is data science, to the point now in 2021 where data science is the what you call the in thing. Yeah. And I believe that this space is just getting started. This space has a huge potential, and we are just seeing the very tip of the iceberg still. And in not only in the years and decades to come, but this whole space of data science and AI will present opportunities for you, not only in the IT industry, but beyond that as well. So the agenda for today's session is going to be divided into three parts. Since it's a career Q&A, we are going to look at what do you need to do during the program. How many of you have this question that what do I need to do during the program to ensure that I'm on the right track, right? What kind of preparation do I need to switch into data science and AI? And then finally, what does the switching process look like? How do the interviews look like at different levels? As I said, all of you are from different backgrounds, different you have different experiences, and that's why the interviewing process in itself will be very different for each one of you. And what we will do is I would love to take all of your questions. But before that, here are some questions that I believe are common to a lot of you, and you would have in these in mind. So these are the 4 questions. I want you to firstly tell me which one of these questions resonates with you the most, right? And then we'll also look at, possibly you have questions that I've not included. We'll take those questions also. Okay, fourth, third, all, first, second, third, all, third, and fourth. Okay, very quickly, I want, since as I said, it's an interactive session, just keep on typing in. You'll feel more energetic on a Saturday morning. And still a lot of people are on all panelists. Can I request everyone to go on all panelists and attendees? Almost 50% of the people are on all panelists. Yeah. Okay. So these are the first set of questions. The next set of questions is this. What mistakes should I avoid while applying for jobs? How do I carve my own niche in data science and AI? Because I'm sure a lot of you are thinking that, do I want to be in a cookie cutter data science kind of role, or can I contextualize a bit based on my profile, etc.? I want to directly get into AI. Should I focus on data science? This is again a question that a lot of you ask us, that I want to become an AI engineer. Should I be bothering about data science that much? What do data science teams look like? How do data science interviews look like? How do I remain motivated during the program? All of these are absolutely valid questions, and questions that I'm sure we will together try to crack these questions. Yeah. Okay. All questions are valid and need answers. Fantastic. Okay. So what I'll do is we'll quickly try to answer these questions, and then we will have, so this is what I call structured Q&A. My goal is to take some of these questions which are common to all of you, and then we will pick up questions from the chat window. So the first question that comes is, what check should I do during the program to see if I'm headed in the right direction? A lot of you are undergoing the program, and there are 3 checks basically you need to have during the program. And right now, I don't know how many of you are aware about the Career Launchpad program. We are conducting interviews also. We are doing a lot of other things in the Career Launchpad program. What we have realized is that this is what our students have not been doing, and we want them to really, really do that, right? A lot of our students are just attending classes, right? And not doing enough practice beyond the classes, right? How many of you are doing exactly this, that you are attending classes, you are doing whatever is being told to you in the class, but you are not going beyond what you're supposed to do? If the faculty is telling you that you need to practice NumPy more and more, if Suchit is telling you, if Deepesh is telling you that you practice more and more, but that practice is missing. And no matter how good a coach you have, right? No matter how good a coach you have, till the time you're not practicing, you will not become an expert in that. And that is what I believe is the first checkpoint that you need to have, that am I practicing enough or not? Yeah. Is everyone with me on this? And can I request all of you to write down some of these points, because these points we are coming across again and again, and I would really, really sincerely appeal to all of you to ensure that these points are something that all of us need to do, right? So the first check is, am I practicing enough, right? Am I practicing enough so that I actually am able to do something concrete? Yeah. The second checkpoint is, am I working on enough projects? There are a lot of interesting data sets, and I want to ask again all of you, how many of you are experimenting with data sets, different kind of data sets, different kind of projects, right? Let me know in the chat window again. Are we experimenting with different kind of projects? Are we going out of our comfort zone and picking up data sets and looking at that? And every time, you don't need to do machine learning. And that's what I always try to say, that you don't have to do machine learning all the time. Maybe you can just do a beautiful visualization with Tableau. Maybe you can just do a beautiful visualization with Bouquet, Seaborn, some of these Python packages. Yeah. So doing more projects is very, very important. And third is the objective that I had while enrolling the program, right? Am I moving in that direction? So have I identified my objective objective? What do I want to achieve? For example, let's say if I want to become a data analyst, right? Or data scientist, whatever. Am I customizing my preparation during the program? What we don't want is that we don't want that you are doing everything under the sun and now you're not an expert in anything. Is everyone with me on this? That customizing your prep depending on what you're aiming is extremely, extremely important, because for us, teaching everything is important. But for you, what is more important is, let's say that right now you're aiming for data analyst role, then maybe you don't need to focus on the advanced machine learning algorithms more. You need to focus left, right, and center on Python, data analytics, Python, and maybe machine learning foundation to that extent. So the third point here is, am I customizing my prep enough so that I'm able to achieve my goal? Let's look at this from another angle. Those of you who are project managers, how many of us are project managers here? Give me a quick yes if you are a project manager. I think there would be tens of project managers here, right? For project managers, the question is, am I customizing my prep from a project management point of view? Am I reading articles from the project management point of view, data science team structure point of view, managing data science team point of view, building products in data science point of view? And that is very important, because when you're doing that, then the motivation level that you would have during the program will also be very high. Yeah. So can we write down these 3 points somewhere and make these points as the guiding lights going forward as we start right at 2021? Yeah. Please type done in the chat window once you have done that, because these 3 checks, as we are conducting career launchpad programs, what we are realizing is that a lot of our students know everything superficially, but they have not gone deep into any one part. And if you can go deep in one part, that's what is required. Yeah. Okay. Number 1. Second question is, should I prepare for jobs during or after my program is complete? Right? How many of you have this question, right? Should I prepare for jobs during my program or after my program is complete, right? I think all of us would have this program. And the right answer is, please do not wait for your program to get completed. When we talk about preparation for job, here we are not talking about job hunting, right? We are talking about, first of all, you need to build skills. Yeah. Then you need to have projects. Then you need to have a good resume. Then you will start applying for jobs, and then you'll then you'll start preparing for interview questions, etc. Then you will start applying for jobs, and finally you will be able to land up with a job. So do you see that it is not just about applying for jobs? Is everyone with me on this? This is a very important point, because psychologically we feel that it is about applying for the jobs. But right now, as you prepare, you need to, what I had mentioned in the last point also, from a skill point of view, customize your whatever you are learning to the target role, right? Number 1. work on enough projects, start building your resume, and there is no right time to build your resume. Don't wait till the end to build your resume, because possibly the resume that you will build will not be, great even in the second or the third round. And in fact, we had in Career Launchpad the resume workshop also, and we shared resumes as well. In spite of that, a lot of resumes that we have seen are still not up to the mark. I mean, I as a recruiter would not select those resumes. And that's why these things take time. Do not wait till the end. If you do these parallelly, then it will make preparing during the program or undergoing the program also much more interesting, right? Now, when I talk about interview questions, let's take an example of how should I prepare for jobs during my program. Now, let's say that you are undergoing machine learning foundation as a track, right? How many of you have completed machine learning foundation? I'm sure a lot of you would have completed that. Yeah. So if you have completed machine learning foundation, which is good, how many of you have how many of us have looked at interview questions related to linear regression on the internet? Right? Maybe no. And that's what we need to do. We need to now look at, I have done 5 algorithms, right? Which is machine learning algorithm, which is linear regression, logistic regression, and whatever the machine learning algorithms is. And this is what I have been taught in the class A. B, I have now done some projects. Now let me just dig up what are the kind of interview questions available in the which are asked in the interviews, right? Am I making sense there? You'll be so excited then to learn linear regression even more, because now you know that what you have learned in the class is maybe just 70%, 30% was still missing. Now you see more examples on the internet, and now you have better perspectives there. Yeah. Is everyone with me on this? Similarly, if you are undergoing data analytics with the Python, right, and you're doing NumPy, right, and you have learned NumPy, you have done it pretty well, right? Can I search for some questions on NumPy? What are the interview questions? You'll be so excited again to learn NumPy, and you'll fall in love with NumPy even more, because now you are looking at it not as a concept, but you are looking at is an opportunity. And this is a fundamental difference between the two things. Give me a quick yes if you were with me, and if you were able to relate to this. You are not looking at NumPy as a concept, but you're looking at it as an opportunity. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to be asked these questions from NumPy. Am I prepared for them, right? And then you would see that what you're learning in the class, what you are doing in your projects, and what you're doing in your assignments, plus combined with what kind of questions are going to be asked, it will be a complete 360-degree learning. And this is the right way to prepare for jobs. Then you will also feel confident that you will not have to separately prepare for interviews. You are preparing for interviews on the go as the program proceeds. Yeah. Is uh, is the answer to question number 2 clear to everyone? Let me know, because this is again a frequent question that we get, that should we wait till the end? Please do not wait till the end, because if you wait till the end, by the time your mind will be so cluttered with the hundreds of algorithms and things that you would have done, that you will not be able to prioritize. I would recommend that as you go along with the program, you keep on preparing, you keep on adding the job element and interview element to whatever you are doing. Yeah. All right. So that was second question. Question number 3 is, should I switch to data science or AI, or apply it in my current role? For how many of you this is an important question? And this is a very, very important question, especially for people who are on the higher experience range, maybe 15, 20 years of experience. Yeah. The simple answer is, it depends on what do you want to do. Yeah. It depends on what do you want to do. For example, if you see, for a lot of people that I speak, students that I speak with, they see that I don't see any scope in my no scope in future in my current role, because they are working in technologies like mainframe, some of the outdated kind of technologies. Yeah. And they don't want to do it anymore because they know that the scope is limited, or it is very, very competitive. If you see that in your current role, there is not much scope, I would not say no scope, not much scope in future, and you see that you really, really want to get into data science and AI, because this is where the world, this is what Elon Musk is preparing for, and this is what the whole world is preparing for, and you have to be a part of this revolution, right? Then you have to look at switching into data science, and that's the right way to go. Uh, However, if you see in your current role, there is opportunity to apply data science. For example, if you are working in healthcare and you are a program manager there, right? Or if you are working as a solution consultant somewhere, and you are in a client facing role, and what you are doing is basically you're advising clients. So if you're advising clients today are looking for AI solutions. Is everyone with me on this? So if clients are looking for AI solutions, then you don't need to think about switching to data science or AI. Then all you have to do is incorporate whatever you have learned and build those solutions, product customizations, and present it to the stakeholders, right? So this is essentially the approach that we need to take on a broad level when we are talking about looking at the switching or applying it in my current role. Now let me take some questions from the chat window before I move forward. Okay, and the questions are coming very fast. I'll just pick some questions right now which I see relevant, and in the end we will answer some other questions. Okay, so I see a lot of people from testing background, and they're asking, what about testers with 10 years of experience, right? Or what about people from testing background? The question I have for people from testing is, let's say testing, just an example is that, do you want to be in testing in another 5 years? Very simple question. Forget about salary, forget about packages, forget about whatever, right? And a lot of people I see are from testing here. Do you want to be in that or not? It's as simple as that. Yeah. Or if no, then you will need to put efforts to get into this area. And I congratulate each one of you that you have taken, you are out of your comfort zone and you are learning something new which is already out of your comfort zone. Are you guys with me? And does it give some direction in terms of how to think, right? Because we cannot think about our careers from what I'm going to do in the next 6 months, right? Because possibly I might be able to do it or I might not be able to do it. We need to have a little more long-term approach, that what do I want to see myself doing in another 5 years, and now am I preparing for it? If yes, very good. If no, I should. Yeah. So that's the way I would look at. Now let's look at another question. What if I'm in finance domain with 10 years of experience? Finance, trust me, is the best field to be in if you want to be in data science, right? Is the best field to be in. How many of you agree with me on this? Those of you who are from finance background, you have so many use cases of data science in finance that if I were you and I were working in a finance company, I would find a job like this. I would find a job like this. Citibank, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, you name it. And they are hiring for people in data science right now, because data science helps them save. I mean, you would understand these companies are not like $100 million companies. They are operating at billions and billions of dollars, and they're doing transactions worth hundreds of billions of dollars, right? It is so vast in application. If you start picking up projects during the program focused on BFSI, I would I can tell you that finance is one of the easiest sectors where you can apply data science. Yeah. Okay. Let me take one more question. Neeraj Varshney writes, I am working in AS400 technology, having 4 years. I'm looking to switch to data science jobs, but they ask for experience, which I do not have. Should I release from my current project and look for data science project only, then try to switch? Neeraj, the interesting thing is when I started my career almost 13 years back, I also started with AS400, right? And what I can tell you is that at that point itself, 13 years back, I'm not even talking about 20, I could see that this technology, possibly for me, it might be otherwise for you, it did not excite me at that time, right? And I felt that this is not where the future is, and I anyway don't feel excited with it, right? What I would look at is that, let me give you an example of one of our students. Anirudh, if you are there in the session, I'm not sure. So Anirudh is one of our students. He worked with the DXC. He was working in mainframe earlier and switched now to a data analyst and analytics and data scientist role within DXC itself. All of your companies have these practices. What is important is that you need to go out, like the way you have gone out of your comfort zone to enroll in the program and learn something new. You will need to start networking with people in your company who are working in those teams and in those practices. Yeah, Neeraj, I hope that answers your questions. Yeah, let's take one more question. Let's take our most prolific student, Jigna's student. Jigna, good to see you here in the session. Yeah. Jigna's question is, since AI is, how many of you know Jigna? I think she is the most popular student at Insaid. Yeah. Since AI is still in developing stage, what is your advice? How should we prepare ourselves to be better placed in coming days, especially for senior folks here? So, Jigna, I think since you are already at a director level position, what you will need to do is you need to be focused on two things: looking at application of AI, how AI can be used from the use cases point of view, right? A second is right, whether it is human detection, AI for human detection, AI for there are so many use cases for traffic management, AI for XYZ things. So use cases is very important. And second is knowing AI to that level, whether it is TensorFlow or computer vision. You don't need to be an expert in that, but knowing AI to that level, wherein if you're hiring an AI engineer, you are able to develop that person, you are able to guide that person, right? um, and that's where you will need to marry the two skills. You will need to know the use cases, you will need to know some bit of coding yourself, but the focus ultimately has to be a building products for the clients, and being resourceful. That's what I would call, instead of being just a boss, being resourceful for the junior team members that you are hiring under you. Yeah, I hope I answered that question for you. Okay, let's move to just a minute. Let me just have a sip of water. Okay, so can we move to the next question, and can we take the rest of the questions in the chat after some time, if all of you don't mind, because I know a lot of you have posted your questions, because it just disrupts the flow. A lot of these are profile specific question. Jacob, I will definitely answer your question, and others, I will definitely answer your question. Please do not feel bad. I would want to maintain certain structure so that we are able to address most questions, and by the time we reach 10th question, I'm telling you, most of your questions will already be answered. Yeah. Okay, let's take the fourth question. Data analyst, data scientist, data science consultant, ML engineer, AI engineer, junior data scientist, senior data scientist, data science manager. There are so many positions. Which role is right for me? Now, let me ask you, how many of you have this question? And this is so very important. Till the time you do not figure this out, right? Preparing during, as I said, if you remember my question number one, what I was saying in question number one and question number two is that you need to customize your preparation. We are going to teach you 10 things. Maybe out of those 10 things, you need to focus on 2 or 3 things more, right? And that's what is important. Now, let's say that if you're looking for a data analyst role, in data analyst role, what you don't need to know a lot of machine learning, right? Even if you know a little bit of Python, a little bit of Excel, a little bit of business analytics, all of that is fine, yeah, and little bit of SQL. Now, if you're looking at data scientist role, you all know what the skill sets are. You need to know NumPy really well. You need to know pandas. You need to know Python. You need to know machine learning. But more important than that, can I ask all of you, more important than knowing Python, etc., what is really important as a data scientist, right? Is everything going to be served on us on a platter? Absolutely not. You need problem solving. Exactly. That is what I was looking at. We need to have a problem solving mindset. And what that means is, and I would request all of you to go through the industry immersion session. If you remember, we had done a session with a senior partner at the math company some time back. So that's what he had emphasized, that the problem is data science problem is not going to, appear to you that this is a data science problem, right? You need to convert a business problem into a data science problem. Yeah. And for that, you should be able to identify what the business problem is, and then apply data science to that. And today's session, in which ideally we wanted to do, which is data science scientist from Google we had invited. So Saif, who is joining Google as a data scientist at Google, he is not joining as a data scientist. The designation that has been given to him is that of a product analyst. Although he's a data scientist, but it's a analytics product analyst role at Google, right? So do you see that data scientists, they do not come in one form or in one designation? Different companies, depending on the requirement that they have, right, will customize the role. And similarly, what you will need to see is that what is the best fit for you. For example, if I have a background, if my undergrad background is in computer science, and I would love to know how many of you are from computer science background, and I am a software engineer, I code day in and day out, right? So if I have a CS background, and I code day in and day out, and the ultimate measure is my operating system is not Windows but Linux. How many of you have your OS as Linux? Like, if your OS is Linux, right, then a machine learning engineer or a AI engineer role is great for you, because people who install Linux, to me, mean that they know, how to operate with systems, with technical systems, right? So something like a machine learning engineer role is very good for people like this. Now, people who are a little senior, or who are in a client facing kind of roles, um, uh, for them, a data science consultant role is very good. I was recently speaking to one of our students. He works as a consultant at Deloitte UK, London. And what he was saying is that I'm working with a lot of with clients, and a lot of these clients are like Fortune 500 clients. And right now, for you doing data science, I have to be for giving any kind of dashboarding solution to clients, I have to be dependent on some other teams, or possibly an external vendor. what should I do, right? So simple solution is you start learning some of these skills on your own so that you can take these to your clients. So if you're a project manager, if you are a solution architect, if you are a product manager, if you are in any of these domains where you have to build a solution, right, then possibly a data science consultant role is a very good role. Similarly, if you want to go on the other side and instead of data science you want to focus on AI as a domain, then an AI consultant role also is good for you. And I want to ask, how many of you would choose data science consultant and how many of you would choose AI consultant role? Both of them are really well-paying roles and both of them are very exciting. It's just that the focus needs to be different. For AI, your focus needs to be totally on AI. And whatever you're learning in the GCDI program, you need to focus more on those concepts. But if you're looking at data science consultant, you need to focus more on dashboarding, on Tableau, not so much in going in advanced machine learning algorithms, but knowing the application of it, knowing the use cases, etc. And that should be the kind of approach that you would want to take. Yeah. Okay. Uh, is this question clear? I hope this would have given you some clarity that customize the program depending on the role and look up, take help in terms of what is the right role for you. Data analyst role is good for someone with 0 to 5 years of experience. I would highly recommend them not to go for a direct data scientist role, but someone from a data analyst role is a good entry point. This is not a recommendation that with people with 5 to 10 years of experience they have to aim for data scientist role. They can, even with 15 years of experience or 20 years of experience, you can go for a data scientist role. But typically this is what majority is usually falls into this 10 to 15 years of experience, data science consultant, or even if you have less experience and you are an MBA from a good school, right, then a data science consultant or a data scientist role is a good role for you. This is for someone with hardcore coding background. AI consultant again is very similar to data science consultant. So all of these positions are there. What is important is to identify where exactly you fit the bill. Okay. Uh, Let me now take one question quickly. Let me take Jacob's question. Manav, when you say experience, are you speaking of experience in current domain or data science experience? No. I mean, Jacob, think about it. If you have 15 years of experience, you would not be working in India. You would be most likely working with Google in Silicon Valley in data science, right? Very few people today have 15 years of experience in data science. Most of us heard about data science maybe 10 years back. Yeah, makes sense. So I'm talking about total experience. Yeah, so data science is not something totally different. Your past experience, you need to build upon that. Yeah. One more question. Can you Rahul's question is, can you tell about the focus of AI consultant? AI consultant essentially are they are solution experts in AI. So essentially solution architects for AI products, for example, let's say chatbots, automation. We are talking about computer vision, human detection, etc. Those kind of things. So they are building something like NLP based products, etc. So they advise clients that if the client has a requirement, and I'm not sure if we have that recording on our YouTube channel, but do check out this company called Hyperverge, right? We had conducted a industry immersion with this. So they detect criminals. They have implemented a solution in India, in Coimbatore, if I'm not wrong, with Coimbatore police. and they have created a database with Coimbatore police, and they have encoded photos of criminals, and now they have whenever these criminals are seen in police CCTVs, it automatically identifies that and sends an alarm to the police headquarters. Yeah, so this is just one example of computer vision. So as an AI consultant, you work on developing some of these solution, and it's a very exciting space, and there is so much to learn. This is, you can never ever call yourself an expert in this because you are always learning something new in this space. Yeah. Okay. So question number 4. Can we move to the next question? I see a lot of questions still flowing in, but how about we move to the next question and answer those questions then? What mistakes should I avoid while applying for jobs? We have already covered that. First thing is do not be do not apply for jobs prematurely. What I mean is that till the time you don't feel at least 70 to 80% prepared, right, with your resume, with the skills, with everything, there is no point in applying for jobs. Is everyone with me? You need to prepare along with the program for jobs, but do not apply for jobs till the time you don't feel at least 70% prepared, because even with 50% level of preparation, chances of selection are low. Once you feel 70% prepared, then start applying for jobs. That's the right thing that I would recommend. Second is resume customization is very important, and I cannot overemphasize on this. Till the time we are not customizing our resume, most likely the resume will not get selected. It's extremely important to do that. And the third point, which is extremely important, is the fact that if you can apply for a job which is in similar industry that you are in, if you are in, let's say, in healthcare, and if you're applying a job in health, for a data science job in healthcare, that would make it easy. Or if you can apply for a job internally also, if you work, for example, with United Health Group. Anyone from UHG here? Not sure. But if you work, let's say, with United Health Group, then look for jobs internally. If you work with TCS, IBM, look for jobs internally, and that would make switching much easier. Yeah. Okay, how do I carve my own niche in data science and AI? This is again a very important question. How many of you have thought about this, that can I do something different rather than just doing cookie cutter data science? Or can I do something more which is sync in what I want to do? And the answer to this is absolutely, and that will make you indispensable in this market. The way I look at it is, think of data science and AI as enablers, not as just technologies or domains. If you are able to marry what you already know with data science and AI, then that's where you create a niche. For example, let's say, how many of you work in cloud computing? If you work in cloud computing and you can marry data science to it, whether it is AWS, whether it is Azure, whether it is Google Cloud, that's where the magic is. If you're already working in, let's say, IoT, and you marry it with data science, IoT, you're collecting a lot of data, right? And if you can now do analysis of this data and create pipelines so that you can create, do some analysis instead of just storing that data, that's where the magic is. If you're working in big data and you can now integrate it with data science, that's where the magic is. So the point is, this is in respect to technologies. The second is in respect to healthcare. So if you look at some of the application, manufacturing, e-commerce, healthcare, transport, finance, etc., the goal is that you need to have an intersection between what you're already doing, right, whether it is in terms of technology, right, and what you are learning, right, what you are doing and what you are learning if there is an intersection between these two, right, that's where the magic is. And I want you guys to let me know, where do you think the magic for you could be? It could be, if you're working in aerospace, that's a great space to be in. And I want you to take 10 seconds, think about this, because this is a hard question. But if you can figure out this magic or niche for yourself, then you will not be starting from zero. You will already have a head start, because you are building upon things that you already know. Take 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and type in the chat window, please. All right, so start typing in, everyone. And if you don't see any intersection, also, that's fine. Just let me know as well, right? So that's okay, right? Possibly you are in a totally different domain and you are not able to see that right now. Product design, cognitive AI, QA. Can you show the slide? I'm learning both Azure as data science, etc. All right. Okay. So finding this niche will can create much differentiated opportunities for you. You will not have to compete with anyone, because you will be one of a kind. And if you're able to do that, I believe that's where the competition is less, easier to crack jobs, and you will be building upon your strength. Okay. Next question is, I want to directly get into AI. Should I focus on data science too? Right? How many of you have this question? I want to get into AI directly. Maybe you want to work in computer vision, NLP, that you know that that's where the future is. Should I be focusing on data science? And the answer is partially, right? What I mean by that is, for AI also, if you want to build, most of the people working in AI, a lot of them have backgrounds in data science. So although AI and data science are different, but there is a certain overlap between the two fields, right? And the right way for you would be, start with DS concepts. For example, say TensorFlow. A lot of TensorFlow is a library of Python. If you can code in Python really well, you will be able to code in TensorFlow as well. So the important thing for you will be that finding this intersection between data science and AI, and focusing on AI concepts. Then what I mean by that is, then in data science, you don't need to focus on all the machine learning algorithms. You don't need to focus on, for example, learning data analytics with R. Are you with me? Those of you who want to learn, get into AI, you don't need to, for example, learn Tableau, right? These are mostly focused on data science. You don't need to learn, for example, higher level machine learning, all the machine learning algorithms. You just need to learn those machine learning algorithms that you are going to use in AI. So what I would recommend is, start with data science. You have already started your programs, those of you who are learning AI as well, right? But think of it that data science, because you got a lot of no background in data science and AI, the way the program is structured, GCD, GCDI, or CDF, it goes in a step-by-step way, so that you can become very strong in AI when you actually see that. Because the fact of the matter is, AI is a lot of maths. How many of you are currently undergoing the AI track and find that AI is, the math is quite a lot in AI, right? And that too, when we have simplified maths quite a lot, right? It's a lot of maths, trust me. Until the time that math foundation is not strong in ML1, ML2, and ML3, AI maths will also seem kind of difficult to you, right? So build these strong foundation during data science, math, basic level machine learning, basic level coding, being able to wrangle data, extract data, and then focus more and more. Once your AI track starts, then go deep, focus for months on areas like CV, NLP, TensorFlow, etc., etc. Yeah. Okay. What do data science teams look like? Next question is this: what do data science teams look like? All data science teams are very different in their, they look like very different. For example, if you attended last month's industry immersion session, can I get a yes if you guys were able to attend that? We did it with Ridhima Khurana, who was working as a product manager at Facebook. So in Ridhima's team and in teams like that, you will have a product manager who will be running the show or running the product, and you will have a data scientist mapped to the product team. Yeah. So that product will have a data scientist, which might also be called at times product analyst. But a product analyst is as good as a data scientist. It's just that the nomenclature is better. Yeah. So that's the first part. You could also be working as a pure play data scientist, wherein you are working for clients. For example, if you're working as a data scientist at let's say HCL, yeah. So you will be working for clients, then you will be working in data science teams, and you will be delivering a particular solution to the client. You could be also working as a data scientist mapped to a project team in an IT services company like IBM. Is everyone with me on this? That you have a bunch of people, there are some software engineers, there are some solution architects. So you have like a huge project, and data scientist is a part of that entire project. So there are different kind of teams, different kind of structures in you starting with at the top. For example, you might have the company's chief data scientist, then you'll have director of data science, then you'll have managers or senior manager data science or something of that sort, and then you'll have data scientists, etc. So this is what the hierarchy in different companies looks like. It depends from company to company, the size of the companies, the revenue of the company, and to what extent it is focused on data science. Yeah. Is everyone with me on this? This is actually a very long answer, but what I've just tried to do is shorten it for you because we are already running out of time, and I want to have enough time to answer your questions. How to prepare for data science interviews the right way? I've already given you the answer. Can you all write in the answer to this question for me? I've already given you the answer to this question some time back. Yeah. How to prepare for data scientists the right way? The right way is Google practice during the program, converting the concept into an interview, looking at the concept from an interview point of view. I hope that that's clear. Whenever you are doing a concept in the class, let's say linear regression, go and start looking for interview questions for linear regression. That's the right way to prepare for interviews in a gradual way, so that in the end, when you are actually facing interviews, you just have to refresh your concept. Then you would not be stuck at every level, and you would not be anxious about the fact that I don't know half of the things. Yeah. So that's what is very, very important when you are preparing for data science interview questions. I would also recommend that when you are preparing for data science interview questions, do research about the company well and expect questions from the job description. So for example, if Citibank has advertised a data scientist role, so what can you expect? You can expect that the questions would be from BFSI. You can expect that the questions would be from a particular, maybe vertical or function of Citibank. And if you want to understand this better, how should I prepare? can I all request all of you to go through Data Star videos that we on our YouTube channel. I hope some of you would have watched those, but I think a large majority of you would not have seen those. So in those videos, we have done analysis of data science roles at companies like ZS, TCS, IBM, Ola Caps, Microsoft, and can someone go to that playlist and post the link in the chat window so that everyone can access it and go through it post this session. So if someone can post the link in the chat window, I would really appreciate that. Yeah. So the link has been posted. So please review Data Star videos. They are the go-to source for you if you want to know what are the interview questions like, right? Last is, how do I remain motivated during the program? The best way to remain motivated is to form a group. Number one, do all of you have a group that you are interacting with? Let me know if you do. That's very important. As human beings, it's very difficult to maintain motivation if you are doing things on your own. You need a group that you can talk to. And second is being connected with data science world. Are you all active on Kaggle or not? Are you all active on GitHub or not? Are you all active on, do you read articles on Medium, KD Nuggets or not? So being in that bubble, what I call that, you need to be in an ecosystem with some called bubble or data science ecosystem to remain motivated during the entire program, because otherwise what will happen is you are attending classes on the weekend, you're doing a bit of practice, but you are not exerting yourself, you're not going deep into any of these areas. And what I would appeal to each one of you is to not do things superficially, to go deep in each areas, right? So read articles on Medium, as Neha has said, and GitHub, Kaggle, etc. These are fantastic platforms as well. Yeah. With this, we have come to the end of the session. Now I'll open it up for Q&A. Whatever questions you all have, you can post in the chat window, and I would try to pick a few questions that I believe would be useful for everyone. If I miss a question and that question is important to you, please do email me at manav@insaid.co. I know I would not possibly be able to take only 10% of the questions right now, but I will attempt to answer your question on email. Yeah. So can you talk about leadership role? How can one prepare? Sachin, that's a good question. Sachin has a question. Can you talk on leadership role? How can one prepare? So the easiest way to prepare for leadership role in data science is that if you are already in a leadership role, Sachin, does that make sense? Because what is not possible is that suddenly you can't become a director of data science. Yeah, you need to be at a certain level in a certain company, and then you can say that now I have data science, and can you give me opportunities to lead data science practice for the company? Why would the company not do that? Sachin, are you with me? Because with 20 years of experience, the company would have very few options. There are hardly people who with 20 years of experience who would know data science in depth. And what you bring to the table with 20 years of experience, Sachin, a fresher or someone with 5 years of experience will not be able to bring. Right? Am I making sense? So you need to capitalize on those opportunities, identify those opportunities internally, and be proactive in asking for opportunities. Nobody is going to hand us opportunities and say, now we are going to make you a director of data science. You have to ask that, let me just, take this initiative. Make sense? I hope I answered the question. Next is, okay. Bhanu writes, I am with 10 years of experience in insurance domain learning data science, confused which role to focus on. The easy way to answer this is, Bhanu, what opportunities do you see for application of data science in insurance domain? Do you understand insurance really well? Yes or no? Maybe yes. How can you take up more projects during the program, GCD program, GCDI program, whichever you are doing, of insurance, and apply data science to insurance, and then see, can you identify the magic quadrant for you? What I spoke about some time back, how do I find the niche for myself? Banu, am I making sense there? You need to find the niche for yourself, and that you'd be able to find once you start doing more projects and more projects from insurance domain, right? You will be automatically able to find that, right? I hope I answered that question. Next question is, uh, Manish, right? Manav, I have 25 years of experience in healthcare. Would it be worthwhile for leadership roles in data science and AI? So Manish, that's a good question. And we do have a lot of people like you with 20, 25 years of experience. The important question, Manish, would be that when we talk about leadership roles, there are two or three things that what kind of leadership roles are you looking at? Right? And why would a company believe that you will be able to lead a data science team successfully? Right? If you can answer two of these questions, and these are like hard questions to answer, right? If you can answer two of these questions, that would be a good starting point for anyone, right? Because with 25 years of experience, the company would be paying you a certain amount of salary. It would be giving you a certain amount of certain designation, but you will need to justify that designation, and that's what is extremely important. Yeah. Okay. Um, Next question is, web developer. I'm a Prashant writes, I'm a web developer with 10 plus years of experience. What you suggest, DSML, AI, how to decide? How to go for as a fresher in other companies? There's nothing in current. You are a web developer. You need to, and I hope you love coding, right? If you love coding, Prashant, go for a machine learning engineer role. That's a role very few people in India are actually looking at. Most of us are looking at data scientist role, etc. Look for machine learning engineer. Look for data engineer role. Data engineer role again is fantastic role for web developer because they understand the underlying code easily. Go for an AI engineer kind of role. These are roles which pay you really, really well, right? And there is not much competition. That's what I can tell you. Yeah. So I hope that made sense. Okay. Uh, Next question is, uh, sorry if I missed a lot of question. If you feel that your question is something that I should answer, I would request you to copy paste it again, and I will try to pick it. The questions are very, very huge. Yeah. Okay. Opportunities for test engineer in manufacturing with 6 years of experience. Excellent, right? Manufacturing is about Aditi Pandey. Aditi, the question I have for you is, what is the future of manufacturing? The future of manufacturing is one word called IoT, right? I hope you are following IoT as a domain. IoT is the future of manufacturing, number one, because you have sensors installed on big machines, on boilers, on everything. Yeah. And this IoT, if you can marry IoT with data science, and now you have IoT, and IoT is giving you a lot of data and is reeling a lot of data, then the next part is you need to make sense of that data. And that's where you come into place. If you can if you can be at the intersection of IoT and data science, and build an expertise in, let's say, predictive maintenance. Aditi, does that make sense? Predictive maintenance, and all the terminologies that encompass manufacturing. I think that's a beautiful space to be in. And again, competition is very, very less. Yeah. Okay. Jojo, Jacob, Manav, what are the opportunities for those transitioning from military to data science domain? Jacob, what designation were you part of EME in military, and what rank were you in? I would love to know that. Yeah. Lieutenant Colonel. Interestingly, Jacob, I also come from, my dad was in the army as well, just as a matter of fact. and we have one of our very inspiring students, Sandeep Khatri. I'm not sure if you are in touch with him. You should definitely get in touch with Sandeep Khatri. He is a role model in terms of a colonel in the army learning Python code from scratch. How many of you think that that's inspirational? Sandeep, you're already here, right? And Sandeep, would you mind coming on air if you have the mic to just tell us how the journey has been for you? Um, and maybe um, uh, maybe Mohit, can you unmute Sandeep, and maybe Sandeep, if you can just come on air, that will be amazing, because I believe that you are a great role model of not limiting. uh, Mohit, are you there? Can you unmute Sandeep? His name is Sundeep. Yeah, Sandeep.
I'm
Welcome, Sandeep. Good to have you here in the Sandeep. You are unmuted now.
yeah, it's a great place. I find a lot of sense in going ahead with this. As you rightly said, this feature that you said, predictive maintenance, was a part and parcel of our job. In EMA, we are required to maintain the military equipment. So there are two aspects to warfare. One is the man and the machine. So man is taken care of by training. The machine has to be perfectly up and about for any operation. So in the warfare, we need to
Your
machine
voice is cracking a lot, Sandeep. Hello. I think Sandeep has dropped off. Anyway, the point is, do all of us feel inspired by Sandeep's journey? Right? How many? I do feel inspired. I am a so-called expert in this, but trust me, people like Sandeep really inspire me. Being from the army with 20 years of experience, right? Having a family and possibly not having coded and digging your hands into Python and learning NumPy pandas and machine learning and whatnot, that's very inspiring for me. Yeah. I hope all it would have definitely motivated all of you to put more effort, that if Sandeep can learn it, why can't I? Why am I limiting myself? How many of you feel that now? That why am I limiting myself now? Right? Absolutely, I would feel that, and I draw inspiration from a lot of our students only. Yeah. Okay. Next question is, I have, Shayan writes, I have 5 years of experience in BI and data warehousing. Will it be logical to target data analytics or data engineer role and then maybe move to pure data science? Shayan, I think that's, you're thinking absolutely in the right direction. If you are in BI and data warehousing role, data analytics and data engineer roles are very good for you. Will make it very easy for you to transition. And Shayan, can you also tell me which company do you work with? And then you can look at transitioning TCS. I believe that that's a very logical path to go about it. You're thinking just in the right direction, and good that you are actually doing that. Yeah. Next question is, okay. Okay. Is I have 10 years of experience in business development. Let me know the scope for career path. Arvindan has asked this question, Arvindan Vijay Kumar. Arvindan, what are you looking to do? Because now you're in BD. What kind of BD are you in? So a lot of, I would need to know a lot of those answers first. What kind of BD are you doing? Are you doing IT BD or are you doing normal BD? And what is the scope for you in data science? The first question is, why have you chosen data science and AI? Right? That's another important factor.
if you are doing BD, and which company do you currently work with? I see in telecom and online commerce industry, BD in Vodafone, amazing. Do you know that Vodafone has the biggest data science and analytics practice globally, based out of Bangalore? I hope you're based out of the Bangalore office of Vodafone. It has a huge practice. Can you get in touch with the data science analytics team of Vodafone Bangalore? You'll find a lot of people. I had my very close friend, he had started this practice of Vodafone. He was from IM Kozhikode, if I remember, and he had started this practice almost 7 years back, and it has now almost 100 people there. Arvindan, can you get in touch with that team? I'm sure that you would be able to get very good insights and possibly get an opportunity there. Yeah. So next is, okay. Guys, just hold on to the question. There's so many questions coming in. Let me just pick up some more questions. Yeah? Archit writes, I'm working as an AVP in MNC Bank in financial reporting and submission. Can I look for a data science consultant roles? Absolutely. Archit, which bank do you work for? And no matter whichever bank you work for, you would have a data science team. Usually, it will be called not as a data science team, Archit, it would be HSBC. So it would be called analytics team. Analytics, or in banks, they usually have analytics as a division, and they would have like 400 people working on analytics, and then it is divided into subsection. So can you just speak with people internally in the analytics team of HSBC? That would be a very good starting point, Archit. Yeah. Analytics team is something that you should be reaching out to. Okay. Okay. Next question is senior business analyst with 20 years of experience in BFSI, DS consultant, or DS analyst, data analyst. No, data analyst is not for you, Ravi. All right, with 20 years of experience, you will not get the salary that you're looking at. Data analyst is a junior kind of role, as I had mentioned, right? So you might want to look at as a data science consultant, or even if not a data science consultant, analytics consultant. Because as I said, that different companies have different designations. So it does not necessarily need to be a data science consultant. It could be an analytics consultant as well, but you don't want to look at a data analyst role. Ravi, are you with me on that? Okay. I'm a pre-sales consultant in quantum cryptography. I have MBA from Narsi Munji, which is a good business school, planning to shift to DS consultant. Can you suggest? I have firstly no idea about what quantum cryptography is. How many of us, let me check, how many of us have idea about quantum cryptography? I know about Bitcoin a little bit, but I don't know much about quantum cryptography. So I am not the right person to advise you. But what I can definitely tell you is that that data scientist, if you have an MBA from Narsi Munji, chances of entering a data science consultant role are very good because a lot of companies especially are a little predisposed to hiring MBAs from good school in data science consultant role, because they want someone who not only can understand the problem, but who can bring the business aspect, which a lot of people from pure IT background are not able to bring. So Balram, that's how you would want to look at it. But as I said, I don't know a lot about your current background, so possibly you might want to drop me an email and I can help you there. Yeah. Okay. Next is Raghuram writes, Manav, we hardly hear about opportunities for mechanical engineer with mechanical domain and AI background. How to crack the job in such case? Raghuram, what you need to define first is, what are you looking to do? Mechanical domain knowledge. If you are coming in AI, why would you still look at yourself as a mechanical engineer? You're getting my point? For example, let me give you an example. I have done my engineering and electronics engineering from NIT Jamshedpur. How many of you have done it in ACE or electrical or electronics? A lot of you. But I don't look at myself as an electronics engineer anymore. That was something I had done, and I have nothing to do with it anymore. That's how I clearly look at it. Yeah. Now I am in a domain which I love, and this is the future, and this is something that I enjoy being in. So now it was just a check mark that had to be done, that I was an electronics engineer, but I have nothing to do with electronics engineering anymore. Yeah. So that's how I would want to look at things, that not be too caught up with your past, that I am a mechanical engineer, etc. That doesn't really matter. How many of us have become engineers by default in India? Possibly a lot of us, right? So it doesn't really matter whether you are a civil engineer or a mechanical engineer. Yeah. So who told us to become a civil engineer? Possibly no one. I mean, that time somebody told us and we became civil engineer, etc. Yeah. So let us not get tied down by our undergrad background, postgrad background. At Insaid, we have PhDs as well. We have people from fantastic backgrounds. And what my recommendation always is that your background is just a reflection of what you were thinking at that point of time. Can I get a yes from everyone on this? Your background is just a reflection of what you were thinking at that point of time, but now your thought process has evolved. Now your thought process is different. Now you're thinking about the future, and you need to look at your career from today to tomorrow perspective, not from past to today and then tomorrow perspective. I hope that made sense. Yeah. Okay. Ashwini writes, I have 13 years. Guys, can you stop writing for a minute so that I'm able to read some of the questions? Let me just read Ashwini's. I have 13 years of experience in data management, looking for a data consultant. It's a vicious cycle. DS jobs ask for relevant experience. Experience needs jobs. Current org does not have scope for DS. How to break this cycle? Ashwini, the simple answer is that right now, if you're looking for data science consultant role, how confident are you that if tomorrow I place you, I give you a job as a data science consultant, you will be able to crack an interview, right? Number one. Number two is, for that you will require effort. How much preparation have we done to understand data science consultant role, to understand the niche, and then to possibly help some companies on a pro bono basis, right? And advise them, right? Since it's free of cost advice, you're not charging them for anything. Even if you go wrong, you have nothing to lose and they have nothing to lose. Yeah. And for this, I would recommend you to watch one of the videos that I had done long time back, how to become a freelance data science consultant. Can anyone post the link to that video? I would say recommend that those of you who are on the higher experience background, higher experience bracket, if you want to really get into data science and AI, just do some freelancing work, do some pro bono consulting free of cost, right? So that it does not also interfere with the work that you are doing. And then you will have some experience with you, but as I said, there are no shortcuts. It's going to take minimum 1 year for you to develop that level of expertise. So Jigna, as always, is super fast, and she has posted this link. This is the link for how to become a freelance data science consultant. Yeah. Umesh writes, 17 years of experience on Java, currently working on big data, want to work as a data science consultant. Umesh, what is the magic for you? You are in a fantastic position, right? You know big data. I hope you're working on Hadoop, Impala, all of these technologies, Pig, Impala, Hadoop, Spark, etc., right? Your core part, your expertise could actually come, Umesh, if you can incorporate data science into big data. I've not been following big data space for quite some time, but from what I know is Spark ML is very good. And Spark ML has good machine learning capabilities. You are already learning machine learning, you are working in big data. Can you take whatever you are learning in Python and implement it in Spark? Umesh, do you work with Apache Spark? If you do, right, can you start building machine learning models on Apache Spark? If you can do that, I think you don't have to even think about getting into data science. You are already in data science now. Yeah. Okay. I hope that answered the question for you clearly. Jigna writes, Manav, all your videos are very inspiring. Kindly release something around AI, please. Sure, with Jigna, we will do that. Yeah. Next is Shavik writes, is there a scope for people who have around 10 years of experience in travel domain which get badly hit due to COVID-19 and not seeing chances of revival in near future? What kind of, when you talk about travel domain, what kind of companies are you targeting? If you tell me that, I'll immediately give you the answer. If you're looking at travel as a domain, yes, it is badly hit and the revival is not there. But if you look at so Shavik, answer that question for me. What kind of experience in travel do you have, and what do you mean by travel domain? For example, companies like business relationship manager. Yeah, and which company do you currently work with? For example, companies like Expedia will continue hiring. Yeah, companies like Make My Trip will continue hiring. Companies, all these companies, they have cut down on their sales force because there is no business. But the underlying drivers of the business, for example, software engineering, for example, analytics, etc., they would need that at any given point of time. Yeah, so that's something that you would want to look at. That data science, there are enough jobs in that space as well. Maybe not as much as they used to be earlier, but what you need to figure out is that since you work as a business relationship manager, right? It will be a little uphill task for you, but you will need to, if you want to build a career in this, you will have to think about how do you connect your past to what you want to actually do. Yeah. Okay, for a person with 15 years of supply chain experience, IT and non-IT one, how does that person approach DI consultant, AI consultant? Anil, you are in a beautiful spot. You don't have to think anything beyond focusing data science and AI on supply chain. Can you do that for me? Right? Look at how it is being used. Do projects of supply chain, more and more projects of supply chain during the program. And supply chain is a domain where not a lot of people have that expertise. Competition is also going to be much lesser for you. So the idea is, if you are in supply chain,
for any other domains, focus on supply chain itself. You will have amazing opportunities in companies like Shell, in companies like British Petroleum, in companies like Castrol, in companies in a lot of these companies which have huge supply chain links, and they are recruiting for people in this. If I remember, I had done a data star video for Shell as well. You might want to, I don't remember it correctly, but you might want to go through it also. Yeah. Okay. One thing I've been, let me just take one question compared to other domains. Okay, the questions flow so fast that I'm not able to read even one question properly. A lot of companies are looking for people with 2-3 years of experience, like data scientist, data analyst, rather than fresher, as we are in a CDF course background. How can we elicit that? So the honest answer is, with CDF, you cannot look for a data scientist or data. CDF is a very basic level course, right? And not only do you need more expertise, you need more time as well. You cannot become a data scientist just in 3 to 4 months. Are you with me on this? You need 6 months, 1 year, 1.5 year, that amount of time to actually be able to transition successfully. And that's why CDF is just for ticking those boxes. Okay, I know a little bit of analytics, I know a little bit of Python, but that's not it just does not give you that level of depth, A, and that level of time, second. Yeah. Okay. Next is question. Shaurashtra writes, Manav, how you or Insaid will be supporting us to complete with AI DS job, as I have 15 years of experience, badly looking for a job at this moment. Shaurashtra, I completely empathize with you. How far are you in the program right now? 3 months, 6 months, 9 months? Let me know. Yeah. Uh, because that will help me understand. 2 months, 2 months, you are way far then. You will need to give time, Saurashtra, because with 15 years of experience, if you're looking for job in data science, you will need to build a certain level of capability, and it will take minimum 6 months. And what I also recommend during this time is, uh, as you look for jobs, since it's going to take certain bit of time for you to develop this competency, and you would need a salary, you need the money flowing in, I would recommend you to look for a job in the domain that you're already in. And I would want to ask you, what domain were you working in earlier, right? I would want to understand that. Yeah. uh, BI and data warehousing. So I would recommend, Saurashtra, since you're very early in the program, I would recommend you to look for a job in BI and data warehousing to start with, and then build those competencies in data science, because it's going to take time. And since you need a job immediately, that's the right path to go forward with, right, Saurashtra? And if you need more help, just reach out to me at manav@insaid.co. Okay, a quick heads up. Those of you who have the 11:30 class, let me quickly ask, how many of you have 11:30 class? Can you all drop off? You have your class starting now. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you would have found the session useful. Let me know if you found the session useful, and let me know if today's session was helpful in giving you, A, the clarity, and B, the motivation that you needed to make sense of things. And beyond that, those of you who don't have the 11:30 class, let us take 2 3 more questions if you have any questions. I've already answered most of the questions, but let me just take those of you who have the 11:30 class, you can drop off. Thank you so much for attending the session. Yeah. Okay. Swati writes, can you mention your email ID? My email ID is on the first slide, manav@insaid.co. If you have any question related to the program, etc., please email academics, etc. If you have any very specific question that you would want, that you think that I'm the best person to answer, right? Then reach out to me. I would possibly be able to help you out there better. But anything related to the program, query, etc., we have a very capable team, academics team. They are the best. You have your faculty as well, right? They are the best people to answer your question. Yeah. Okay. Let me now take some more questions for those of you who don't have this class. How many of you are now tired listening to me? Because I'm now tired speaking. I will possibly take 10 minutes more. I think a lot of you would be, you know, tired now. Yeah. Um, okay. Now let me take Gayatri's question. Can I request all of you to stop typing in for some time so that I can take few more questions. Now Gayatri's question is gone. Let me just scroll up and see where is the question. Um, okay. Radhika Mirani writes, I'm a software engineer in TCS and have an experience of 1.5 years. Looking to shift to data science, I should focus on interview questions, practice data set, and brush up theory. Can you please tell me what the interviewers expects from fresher? Right now, what you should be targeting, Radhika, is not data scientist role, but data analyst kind of roles. Radhika, are you with me there on that? Focus on data analytics kind of roles because they are easier to crack with your kind of experience, A. And B is the fact that uh, if you focus on data analytics, you will develop deeper expertise into NumPy, Pandas, Bouquet, Seaborn, all of those basic packages, and also incorporate a lot of your current experience. So I would not recommend a data scientist role for you. I would recommend a data analyst role for you. Yeah. Okay. Rupendra writes, waiting for an answer for Q&A. How blockchain experience help in AI or data science jobs, right? You'll need to elaborate on that, Samir, because I'm not an expert on blockchain, honestly. Radhika writes, and then switch to data science, of course. Okay. Kumar writes, I posted my question 10 times by now. Could you please look into that? Sure, Kumar. I'm really, really sorry. You would see that the flow of questions is so fast that it's almost impossible for me to answer. But I hope through me answering other people's question, all of you are also finding answers to some of the questions that you're looking for. Yeah. Which field, Kumar writes, according to you, will emerge as DS AI driven, which is currently not being explored and not being looked at in that way? Okay, this is a very interesting question, and Kumar, thank you for answering. Let me ask all of you who are here right now, still 300 of you here in the session. Can you think of one field that is not going to be impacted by uh, data science and AI in future? Right? Can you think of even one field? Even one. There will be no field in future that is not going to be impacted in data through by data science and AI. Right? Every field is going to be impacted. The question is, what is a field that no, farming also, you would see very interesting startups coming up in agri tech. Let me just write this word in the chat. Agri-tech is a big phenomenon now, right now in the US, and a lot of companies are getting funded in the space. Every field will be different, and as Jigna said, the timing, maybe the time taken will be different. But what I can tell you is that we might not be aware about what is happening in data science in India, but a lot of this is already happening in England, in Japan, in US, etc., etc. Right? It's just that we are not aware about this. These things will also come again. Yeah. Okay. I have 18 years of experience and 4 years running my. I can't read most of the questions. Let me just. Um, yes, Sanjay, that's a good question. If Q&A session can be utilized in future so that who have similar question can vote and it will be easy for you to answer. That's a great suggestion, Sanjay. Actually, I was not expecting that so many of students will turn up because the session was originally planned for a speaker session. And we were not expecting that the turnout is going to be this huge for this session as well. Yeah. Sagar writes, I have 10 years of experience in automotive domain as team lead. I'm interested in machine learning. Can I target machine learning engineer or DS consultant? You should target Sagar if machine learning role, if you have tech coding experience. If you don't have, go for data science consultant role in automotive domain. Machine learning engineer is not for everyone. It is for hardcore techies only. Yeah. S. Mohan writes, I am Microsoft system admin with 14 years of experience. Will I get career transition in same domain as data science? If you're from Microsoft system admin background, I would recommend you to look at data engineer role and explore that role Mohan, are you with me? I would, if I were you, I would look for a data engineer role instead of a data scientist role. There's a good overlap between the two, and then transition into a data scientist role. Yeah. Finally, Gayatri's question: I have 6 years of experience in data support, database support in a government company. My role involves resolving tickets with CRUD operations. Should I go for a data scientist role, or should I start with data analyst? I believe that data analyst role is a good role for you, because you're working in database support, and to me, you will have to start somewhere from scratch. So I would not recommend a pure data scientist role. I would recommend a data analyst role, or a junior data scientist role, or an associate data scientist role. Gayatri, I hope I answered that question for you. Yeah. Mukul writes, I have been working on extracting data from test management tools as a LM and Jira via macros and Python and generate reports. I find this task very interesting. My doubt is, can I go with interviews on this, or should I focus more on data scientist? So that's a good question, Mukul. The question I have is, why do you think a data analyst role is the right role for you, right? If you can answer that question, right, then I would uh, uh, be more clear about how to answer your question. But if you are working in Power BI, and if you are working on data extraction, a data analyst role could be a very, very easy role to crack. And then you can look at cracking data science interviews, because as a data analyst, you would be doing what you are already doing. Mukul, I hope I answered that question for you. What you're already doing, some part of that as a data analyst, you do that. So you are already in a way quasi data analyst, I would say, right? So any company would want to give you that opportunity. And I would recommend in your current company itself, Mukul, what company organization do you work with? If you can look for opportunities, I would say Infosys, right? Wonderful. So why don't you look for a data analyst opportunities within Infosys? It's very, very easy to get those roles. Yeah. Okay. Next is Dipali writes, I have 4 years of experience as QA, BA in US domain finance. Please suggest 4 years of experience. I'll have to answer. It's very limited information. Both roles are good. It will totally depend on your background. But if you are from a QA background, I'm assuming pure QA background, then a data analyst role is a good starting point. If you are working as a business analyst, right? Analyst, and you're already doing some kind of dashboarding, you're doing some kind of data extraction, you're already doing client facing role, then a data scientist role is a better role for you. But for QA, DA, for BA, DS. That's how I would put that. Yeah. I have, Shashank writes, I have 18 years of experience, 14 years in IT and 4 years running my own business. Now I want to start my IT career again. What are my options? Shashank, the question is, how would you position yourself? Because with 15 years of experience, 20 years of experience, it is less about what you know and more about how you position yourself in the job market. So Shashank, have you thought about that? Because that's something which is going to determine your success. Are you going to position yourself as a project manager? If yes, how are you different from other project managers? Are you going to position yourself as a consultant? Right? Then what kind of consulting experience do you bring to the table to justify that? So I would recommend you to, first of all, start from the end and look at how what you want to do and how can your previous experience justify that. Yeah. Let's take 2-3 more questions and then we'll wind up. It's already 11:40. We'll wind up at 11:45 sharp. Praveen writes, I have 10 years of experience in BFSI, want to stay in startups, but now focusing abroad, mainly France, Canada, and Germany. What are my starting options? I would highly recommend you to look at Canada. PR options are very easy, and with 10 years of experience, in BFSI, switching to Canada would be much easier. Getting a job in France and Germany is going to be quite an uphill task. And if I were you, I would not do that. I hope, Praveen, I answered that question. Yeah. Uh, Kushal writes, I started my data science journey. In December. I'm working in Amex as credit analyst, and I have I have past experience in customer experience. Total 5 years of experience in engineering. What role should I target, and what should I start applying in relevant role? Right now, there's enough time for you. Right. What I would say is that you've just started your journey. Just take another 3 to 4 months, do more and more projects around BFSI, and possibly once we have this kind of session, maybe another couple of months down the line, then ask me the same question again, and possibly we'll see if you have more clarity, right? Okay, let me check with you. Was today's session, first of all, helpful? And let me ask you, how frequently do you think we should do sessions like this? Because a lot of times, the reason we don't do these sessions frequently is that a lot of the questions are repeat questions. I'm not sure that how useful it is to do sessions like this, and that's why we ideally like bringing speakers from outside Insaid, from all top companies to interact. Uh, but uh, but if you think that these kind of sessions are helpful, then we would do it with a certain frequency, once in 3 months, every month, every 2 months, monthly once. So maybe okay. Uh, but aren't the question, let me ask you one more, but aren't the questions repetitive? Do you guys find the questions repetitive? Because sometimes I feel that I'm answering the same kind of questions in a different format, right? And we don't want to do that, because the whole goal of doing these sessions is to give new or novel insights to you. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Let's take two more question here. Um, Anita writes, I have 15 years of experience in BFSI domain and IT firm, but my primary scope of work is QMS auditor, software improvement process, Six Sigma. I'm not inclined to coding, but much more towards understanding data. Please guide what role would align for me in future. Actually, I've not understood your profile completely, whether you're working as a Six Sigma person, or whether you're working in QA, or whether you're working as an auditor. But what I would recommend is that if you're working in quality, the first thing you would be really good at, if you're in Six Sigma black belt, or I don't know what your profile is, you'd be really good in statistics. Anita, I hope you are good in statistics. That's a basic uh, expectation from you. Now you're good in statistics. Now what I said is, you need to find the magic for you, that you're good in statistics. You don't want to do a lot of coding. Maybe you're good in understanding BFSI as a domain. Now, how can you take data science or AI to BFSI as a domain? That's something that you would need to think about more. Yeah. Okay. Last question. Jigna has a suggestion. Can we have FAQ in resource center to avoid this? All right. So we can look at that, but I think that even if we create an FAQ, Jigna, I think people are more excited. Students are usually more excited when it is a live session and they are able to answer and interact live. So even if we create an FAQ section, I'm not sure, how often students will visit it, but that definitely is something that we need to do on a basic level. Yeah. Okay. Last question is, what is the best? Okay, guys, this will be the last question. Can I make it the last question? Let me know, right? And then we'll wind up the session. What is the best recommended area Jacob has question if that I should focus on in the HR domain with 23 years experience and no coding background, but people management, what to focus in DS. You need to look at HR analytics, Jacob, as a domain. Very simple. HR analytics is a big consulting area, and I'm forgetting the name of these companies. Uh, there are, have you heard about Gallup? Gallup as an organization. Gallup is very good. You should, if you build HR analytics competency, Gallup is an excellent company that has those opportunities. You can also look at, there are a lot of companies in this space doing HR analytics kind of work. You can also look at Avon Hewitt. They have big practice in HR consulting, and they're trying to get into analytics as well. So you should look at building that niche. That's what I mentioned, that till the time we don't build our niche, that this is what makes me special, can't project yourself as a boilerplate data scientist, and that's what you should be looking at. So with this, I apologize if I have not been able to answer any of your questions, everyone. We are way past the session, but I love taking all of your questions, and I wish I could have taken more questions. I'll keep your feedback into consideration that we should do this maybe once a month. And if nothing else, even if the questions are repetitive, there's always something new to learn, right? If we can learn even the names of 2 more companies. I mentioned, for example, Gallup, right? You might want to research on Gallup itself, right? If we can learn 2 more things out of this 1 hour, I think the session would be, worth it. I hope you would have enjoyed the session. And if you have any follow-up questions that I can help you with, just drop me an email at manav@insaid.co. And stay motivated, stay invested in upskilling yourself, because I believe the best opportunities in the world are still to be created in the space of the AI and data science. And I want each Insaidian, each one of our students, to be at the forefront of lapping up those opportunities. Let's hope that in 2021, we are able to do it together, right? I'm going to be there at your service to help you do that. All you have to do it, you have to reach out to me, reach out to the academics team, reach out to the faculty, reach out to the support staff, and reach out to everyone who you think can help you. Thank you, everyone, and good day, and have a great weekend.